Hello, everyone watching this video. Sorry I haven't uploaded in some weeks. I've been preparing for graduation, and also been taking care of some other things in my personal life. And so, in this video, I'll be doing a short, or I hope will be a short graduation speech. Um, I planned on writing out the speech just so it'll be more organized and there'll be less pauses. But for some reason, I just couldn't get the words on paper. So I just thought I would just freestyle it, I guess. Um, so that brings me to what I'm wearing right now. Obviously, I'm wearing my cap and gown. I'm wearing what I wore at my graduation commencement, which was last Friday. So I'm doing this video kind of a week late. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I don't know what to start with. I'm wearing a lot of stuff. But yeah, I have my hood from my school. That's the green part here. Um and I've got my honor cords from my honor society. A part of Phi Theta Kappa, by the way. I'm a member there. And I got my stole, and I've got a few medals that I got from them. This is this one, and I just got this one recently for the alumni. So I'm wearing both of those, and I can't wait to get out of this as soon as possible because it's kind of hot today. It's like 80 something degrees. So looking forward to getting out of this and putting it away. But yeah, so I'm not going to be talking about my whole experience at my over the 2 years at my school. I'm just going to be talking about a few things that I believe are very important, um, that I went through at this school. Um, so I'm going to start with, I don't know what to start with. Well, I'm going to start with this. Some of the negative experiences that I've had here, by the way, for those who don't know, I just graduated from Roosevelt University, located in downtown Chicago. Um, and it's a private school. And for the most part, I've had a good time there. But I did have some issues, and it mostly dealt with. See, I'm more of a conservative person. I identify as part of the independent party, but I'm neither 100% conservative or liberal, but more of a I'm mostly lean toward conservatism, and so this school is mostly it leans more to the liberal side, and so I thought, in some of my classes, there was a lot of censorship going on. There was a lot of penalization for independent thought and for thought that went against the curriculum in some of those classes. And I was one of the students who was penalized for voicing my thoughts that went against some of the things that were taught in some of my classes. And I'll just give a quick example. Um, I think this was a public administration class that I took, and I took it several times, like a few years ago. And I said, I don't remember the assignment, but I was talking about Congress, and I was pretty much saying how they don't do such a good job in this country, and how they don't really help their constituents, which is true for the most part. They don't vote on a lot of important stuff. And when they do vote, it just takes such a long time. There's such a lot of division, and to the point where the public suffers. And that goes on a lot. It's been going on for decades. And even in some of my classes, my political science classes, it talked about this. By there's not a lot of bipartisan agreement when it comes to passing laws in Congress. It's just like a lot of stalling, a lot of division, and it affects the whole country because Congress is the one that makes our laws and votes on our laws. So yeah, I was talking about how they're just not doing such a good job, and I always express myself politely, and um, I've gotten into the habit of backing up my um, backing up what I say with credible sources, like taking the extra time and not being lazy, and because that is important. You can't just say things. You have to um, back it up with facts. And so yeah, and none of that mattered. And my professor told me, I forgot what word she used. It started with a D, and I never heard the word before. But when she wrote it in her feedback about that assignment that was criticizing Congress, she used that word, and I looked it up, and the definition um, said it had the word slander in it, and slander is a serious thing. And I've never slandered anybody, and I believe if people read my assignment, they wouldn't think it was slander. Um, but apparently she did, and I just really thought it was because I wasn't, going with the curriculum. I was kind of, I was being critical, and I was critical thinking is an important part of um, college education or just education in general. It's important to not accept 100% everything that's being taught to you. You have to, of course, question it. You have to like go behind and fact check certain things, and that's important as a student if you really want to learn and not just take everything at face value. So that's what I did, and I got some. She told me if I did it again, I'd get points taken off. So, um, in these sort of classes, I never gave in to threats uh, of penalization or things like that. I expressed myself how I usually did, and if I felt that if my um, perspective wasn't being respected, or if I wasn't being respected as a person, as a student, then I would escalate the matter to the higher ups, up the chain of command. And unfortunately, I had to do this plenty of times at Roosevelt. Uh, I had another professor who taught education. I took an education class because I'm really passionate about education reform. When I get into office, that's one of the things that I'm going to focus on is education reform. Because even though America has one of the top education, uh, in the world, and a lot of people come here to get an education here, we still have like a broken curriculum, and there's still a lot of things about our education that needs to be fixed, like our test scores and our literacy rate and just basic comprehension of the core subjects: reading, math, uh, writing, science, history. A lot of Americans, don't know the basics. So, yeah, but back to what I was saying. That's education reform is a big part of what I'm going to focus on um, in my political career. So, back to my main point. If I can get back there, this is why I hate going off topic. Um, so yeah, I took that education class, and So in one of the lessons, we were talking about what was it? Can't really remember, but I was I was some, but I was just talking about how Americans are struggling with literacy and basic the basic core subjects. And since this was an education class, that's what I was talking about because she was talking about other things that I just believed weren't and just weren't important, and that these are the type of things that we should be talking about. And so, yeah, I don't remember what we were talking about, but I was saying that um, there is such a thing as correct English and correct speech, and um, what's it called? Ebonics. We were talking about ebonics, and just ways of speaking, and that she called it a dialect, and I think it's called a dialect. That's how it's referred to, ebonics, and what's called what is this called? Not called black speech, but I forgot. But I mentioned that there's such a thing as like correct syntax structure, like that, which means correct sentence structure and correct grammar, and um, so she disagreed with me, and it's okay to disagree. But I noticed that when I was like debating her points, there was one instance that she rudely cut me off, and there was a lot of nonsense that I had to put up with these professors, but I didn't put up with it quietly. Um, I would speak up and let them know in front of the class if I felt like they were crossing the line with me, and I would frequently do that. I would frequently debate these professors if I didn't agree with what they're saying, or if I felt like what they're saying was like leaning more toward propaganda. Uh, and some of them had a problem with that. And so, what I would do if I had like a major issue with these professors is, like I said, I would go up the chain of command. So, I would email everyone from the dean to the provost. I emailed the president of the school a few times, got no response, which I expected. Um, yeah, there was a lot of departments that I emailed, and on several occasions I even had to file a grievance against my own school. So yeah, that's just how it went, and this didn't happen so frequently, but it did happen more times than it should. So yeah, that just the censorship, and I call it a violation of student rights, or not protecting student rights. That's what it all boils down to at the end of the day. And in the future, I might, if this doesn't, if this continues to be an issue in our education system, which it probably will because it's not being talked about a lot right now. But if it continues to be an issue, there might be a time where I might have to look into my legal options. I might have to hire an attorney to, look at my case, and, you know, um, go to court against my school, against to be for these problems, because it's a big deal for me. I'm taking out thousands of dollars in loans so I can get a degree, and more importantly get an education and learn in my field of study. And I'm not trying to be told that you're going to get a lower grade, which I work hard for, because I'm critically debating these professors and doing it respectfully at that. So one day it might get to that point. Uh, of course, right now, as a struggling student, I don't have the thousands of dollars to hire an attorney for that. But I believe if I did, somebody would defend me in my case. And yeah, but for right now, I have to resort to just just speaking to these departments at my school that handle these sort of things. But there aren't really departments. There's departments that deal with, sexual assault, sexual abuse, and those types of things, which are important. But these other types of stuff, censorship and students' rights, when it comes to professors not overstepping their boundaries and respecting their students' different perspectives, because not everybody in that class is going to believe what the professor's teaching. And some of the professors, they encourage students to, you know, oppose their viewpoints and the text and the class if they feel like they want to. And they encourage us to back up our opinions with sources, but most of them don't do that. And so, yeah, I've had to go through that uh, quite a lot of times in college, more than I want to, because like I said, I just want to focus on learning, getting my degree, and graduating as close to the top of my class as I can. I don't want to be worried about all the rest of that nonsense, but I have to. So I'm more and more prepared the more I have to deal with this. I'm always prepared that there's that chance where I'll get that unstable professor or this rude professor, or this professor that just really doesn't deserve their title and feels that they can bully and oppress their students. Sometimes I'll get that professor, and I'm more than prepared to deal with them. Uh, and yeah, so that was my first point that I wanted to make. That's what I've had to go through for the past 2 years at Roosevelt University. But like I said, not too often, but it did happen, and it'll probably happen again in the future. But like I said, I'm more than prepared to deal with it. So now I'm going to move on to um, what should I call it? Graduation. So I graduated with a 3.70 GPA. Now, that's a pretty high GPA, enough to qualify most students for honors. And that's what I was expecting. The past 2 years, I worked hard during this pandemic and during, other things that were going on in my personal life, and, just uh, working hard to graduate with honors. And that's, since I've been in college, that's what I always strive towards. Not graduating with honors to me is just as bad as graduating with a 2.0 GPA. No offense to everyone who has that GPA, but it's a bad GPA, and to me, that's not graduating with honors is equivalent to that, because I'm trying to do more than the bare minimum, just getting a degree. I've always um, tried to achieve, like I said, graduating the top of my class, or as close to the top of my class as I can, because I'm trying to get transferred into these elite schools, elite universities, and they look at those types of things. And I've always been focused more on academics than extracurricular activities like sports clubs, and that's all good too. But me personally, I can't balance all of that. Just academics has been the most important that I've focused on, and just maintaining and raising my GPA. And since I graduated with my associates and moved on to my getting my bachelor's, I've been doing the same thing. Just keeping at it, keeping my grades up. My GPA, it went up over these past 2 years. It didn't go down. Um, it went up. And so when I graduated my associate's degree, that's where I got all this from. My That's how I got into Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. And so um, yeah, I graduated 3.7 GPA, and so that's magna. I don't know how to pronounce this. I know I should know how to pronounce this, but it's magna cum laude. Don't know how to pronounce it, but like basically, if you're within that GPA range, I'm 3.70, so that qualifies me for graduating with that Latin honor. So it's not the top one. The top one is summa cum laude, and then there's cum laude. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering these pronunciations. I don't speak Latin, but yeah. And then they give you honor cords for that, and then they give you a notation on your transcript and your degree that you graduate with this Latin honor. That's what I worked hard over the past 2 years for, and I didn't get that. I didn't get that. And when I went to my graduation reception, they gave us a graduation packet with all our information. And with that came the honor cords from the school. And, I was just waiting for this day. I was anticipating, I'm like, 2 years. This is the moment that I'm waiting for. Because, like I said, graduating with honors is a really big deal for me. If I don't, then I feel like I've failed as a student and that, then I'm a disgrace and everything, which isn't true, but that's just how it's just how I am. That's just how I feel because I'm just very high achiever and I have high expectations for myself. And I didn't get that, and I was just I was confused. And I talked to the people there. I'm like, I have 3.70 GPA, and why are my honor cords missing in this packet? Why don't I have honor cords? Um, And then they explained to me a school policy that I had no idea about. They basically said you need to have if you're a transfer student like me, you had to have transferred with at least 60 Roosevelt um, Roosevelt credits. And so in all, I had like 122 credits. I actually went like few credits over what was required to graduate. And I talked to my academic advisor later about this. She told me I had wait 57 credits, I believe. I was 3 credits short. 3 credits short. 3 credits short of graduating with Latin honors. 2 years I worked um, for this title, and over 3 credits I didn't get it. That was it. I had the GPA. I had the grades. I had the credits. I had everything but those 3 credits. I was so devastated over this. I was upset. I was angry. I was sad. Yeah, I was even disappointed. I just was not expecting this. This caught me way off guard, and so I told them, who can I speak to about this? Which department do I go to? Because I'm just not accepting this. And I was supposed to. This was my reception. I was supposed to take my pictures. I was in a good mood, but after I looked at an empty graduation packet with no honor cords, it's just like 2 years, and this is what I get. And it was ridiculous. And so she said, "Well, this is school policy, but if you want, you can speak to the dean." And I said, "Okay." And I just went off somewhere because I wasn't ready to take my picture yet. I got kind of emotional. Um, I called my dad, and I talked to him. You know, let him know I was at reception, and getting ready to take my pictures, and told him how upset I was, and he could see how I was upset, and he cheered me up. But yeah, I was still in a funk, still in a bad mood for the rest of the day, and still, I haven't gotten over it now, and I don't think I'll get over it for a long time. And I'll spend the next 2 years when I transfer to get my transferring to graduate school to get my master's degree. I'll spend that next 2 years, doing the same thing over again and just working even harder, even more than I did now, to get those Latin honors. This is the first time I graduated without any honors. And um, yeah, so, after that, I hung up with my dad and, put my gown and cap on and went to take my picture. And it was difficult for me to even, smile for my picture. That's how upset I was, and just wouldn't get out of my mind. So I decided that I would pursue this, and I started emailing all these departments. I started emailing, I think, the dean first. I emailed the registrar's office. They handle, the credits. They count the credits and everything. I wanted them to recount my credits, see if there was a mistake in their counting. Uh, email my academic advisor. She's the one that told me how many credits I had. And she was the only one of all the departments I talked to. She was the only one that pretty much agreed with what I was saying. She felt that it was a disadvantage to transfer students, and yeah, and I wrote these lengthy emails. I tried to keep it professional and polite, but in some of them it was just like I did I did was I did write, I don't know, how I stated my email. Anybody could tell, I was upset. But in most of them, I kept it professional. Sometimes, like, I let my emotions slip because, I'm only human, and this was just really a devastating blow to me. Uh, yeah, so I emailed the president, the provost, and yeah, I filed another grievance. This was my last grievance, and nothing was done. Um, Nothing was done. I was the only one that really cared about this because I was the only one that worked toward it. So they kept telling me, "This is our policy. We can't treat you special or any different. We can't, there's nothing we can do for you." Pretty much what they told me, and each department told me that. So, I said I'm not afraid to make this issue public if I have to. And that's what I did. I went onto their Facebook page. And that's all I went on to. After that, I kind of like lost the energy and, to the will to like keep this going. Because I'm trying to move on. I graduated now. I just have to look forward to, the future and just do my research on any school, the next school that I attend, on the criteria, because I can't memorize every school policy at these institutions that I attend. I researched enough to know what I was supposed to do to get where I needed to be to graduate and, get Latin honors. But that was one thing that just went past went that I didn't know for some reason. And when I looked it up, this has been their policy since 2018, and I never knew about it. I was never told about it. And so, yeah, so I'm graduating for 3.70 GPA without any honors on my degree, on my transcripts, no honors cords to show for it. Uh, if I didn't wear all of this, what I would just be wearing would be my hood and my gown and just this tassel, and that's it. So I pretty much like feel naked. Not in that sense, obviously, like, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't know, but yeah, this extra stuff. I've had this for like about 2 years now. Like I said, when I graduated my associate's degree, I became a member of Phi Theta Kappa. So I said, if they're not going to give me my honor course that I believe I deserve and earn, regardless of this policy, and if they're not they have the power to change this policy. That's what I told them. They could change this policy so it'll be more fair toward transfer students like me. And they never said it. They never commented on that. They said this is their policy. Like they weren't willing to change it. So I said, okay, if they're not going to give me my honor cords, then I'm just going to wear my own. And so, and I've never worn these before either. So I wore my Phi Theta Kappa stole and honor cords and my medals. I just ordered this one, so I just wore this medal. I'm just wearing this one for the video, and my tassel, and that's why I came to commencement with. That's what I walked the stage with, because I wasn't going to walk the stage with nothing, because that's just that wasn't right. That's not how it should have been for me. But I wanted my honor course, the honor course that I was supposed to have, that my school was supposed to have given me. So this is what I wore instead, and I still wasn't happy, but it just made me feel good for a little while, but it didn't give me full satisfaction. And then when I got the program, which everybody gets, it tells you all the names of the graduates and all the information about the ceremony. So I got my program while the ceremony was happening. People were speaking. I was just flipping through the program, and several other people were doing the same thing. And I was just looking. I was and looking for my name, and I saw my name, and I saw it under departmental honors. And I think I have it here actually. Yeah, here it is. Uh, yeah, my name was under departmental honors, and I wasn't aware that my department, political science, had departmental honors. I thought it didn't for some reason, uh, but it did apparently. And let me just find it real fast. So here it is. Here's departmental honors, and I'm just gonna flip the page to my name. Where am I? So political science. It's right here. Um, yeah, my name is the third one, if you can see it. So yeah, but even that didn't. I was pleasantly surprised. I'm glad that I at least got something, but it still wasn't enough for me. I really wanted those Latin honors, and I got it when I got my associate's degree. I got my honor cords, and I didn't get it this time. So yeah, I'm not gonna go on for another hour about it. I'm kind of just like venting, and more than that, just like informing people that if you live in Chicago and you're looking at colleges and uh, you're looking into Roosevelt University, if you're a conservative minded individual like me, I wouldn't suggest you attend this university, um, unless unless you have like uh, a strong will like me to be able to deal with these uh, radically liberal professors, for lack of a better word. If you can deal with that, then by all means attend it. But they do show some bias towards conservative minded individuals, and so yeah. But with all that said, I'm not trying to. My intention is not to bash Roosevelt University at all. But as a student, I have the right to express, to criticize any institution that I attend, not just Roosevelt, any institution. I have the right to, be critical of them when it's appropriate to be. And let's see. That's pretty much it. Oh, but yeah, I also wanted to add that I am very appreciative that to have had the opportunity to study at Roosevelt, to get my bachelor's degree here. That's another degree out of the way. Now I can go on and get my master's when that time comes. And I'm also appreciative of the financial aid that I earned that also, but I'm still grateful for it because it helped me to take afford these classes and get my degree with as little debt as possible. So I'm thankful for that. Roosevelt has helped me out, and like I said, for the most part, I didn't have any problems there. But these were two big issues that I mentioned in this video that just they need to be addressed and they need to be corrected. But for what I went through with the school, it doesn't look like they're interested in doing that. It doesn't look like they take their students, that seriously to make these changes. So, I can't dwell on it because I've graduated, move on. I just gotta be strong for the next institution that I attend, and just hope that they take their students' rights more seriously. But if they don't, that also won't be an issue. And yeah, so that's about it. Just wanted to get this speech done, and yeah. So since I've been preparing for graduation, have these other things on my mind, doing these other things. That's why I haven't uploaded the video, like I said, and I also haven't been. I need to catch up on the news because I haven't been. I haven't been watching it too much. So I need to catch up what's been going on in Chicago and also what's been going on in this country and all over the world so I can go back to making the videos that I have been making about, speaking on current events. Um, this is just one of those, this is one of the special videos that I just wanted to make just to, get it off my chest. And so, yeah, goodbye.